I've been watching the sky since I was a kid, and that was not an airplane, it was not an helicopter, it was a genuine unidentified flying object. There was not a sound. It was the weirdest shape I've ever seen. If it was a stealth plane, you'd have engine noise. It looked like a stealth plane. It was bizarre. Myself and Jazz, just over a year ago, had an incident where we were stopped on this power station here at the top of it. We saw a UFO.
We've been given predictions through our now investigations through the ghost box. The most recent video we put up on the channel, that kind of freaked me out a little bit, and not so much freaked me out, but I was given quite a lot of different predictions last year personally, and there's two stories I'd like to share, if I may. The first one was regarding the sample that we give. Now, this is from a case that we did in October, and it was a case that needed immediate attention. Now, normally if the case is resolved, I will go back to the session at a later date when I've finished on what I'm working on at the moment. But this case needed immediate attention, so I went back over the session the next day. And where you live, Richard, I didn't actually realise that you were overlooking the area of which we had that UFO experience back in 2018, which is one of the last biggest videos we put up on this channel, which was an incredibly crazy weekend where we were it was just 48-hour marathon of the paranormal, and it was absolutely mental. And
it was.
You can have a look at that video. It's on the channel. I will link it in the description below when it's live. But it's one of the last Now Investigations videos. It's in the playlist, and there's a picture of Richard on the front, and it says "It's inside me," which we had a good laugh at.
we kind of did laugh about that. We did. I think that was one of the better of our titles.
So I had no idea of that, and the fact that when I brought it up after transcribing it, you didn't really say anything. You said, yeah, I've seen a few things, and then you sort of came back to me a few months later, and you said, look, I've recorded these videos of something really strange happening behind my house. We had a reference to that in a session which you gave me a few months ago. And when I looked at it, it's the fact it said you will share a video. You will share this evidence. And that was quite something. The fact it said that you were... Because we have literally, over the last year or so, taken a step back from sharing the evidence because we've needed to research it and look at it ourselves. And we've got so much of it. Over 7 years collecting data, and this is the thing with any research. If you want to act, this is what a lot of people in the paranormal community are not doing. They are switching on a ghost box, they can hear a few odd words, and they're not looking at what's actually happening. With the exception of maybe a few, Huff obviously being one of them because he is the pioneer of the technology. I think only the ones that have pioneered the sort of technology are the ones that are doing it in any sort of serious kind of way, okay? And there's still a lot of issues with it. You know, there's a lot of questions that we can't answer, and that is who we're talking to. Although we have our beliefs, and there's plenty of things that have come up. We know the personal messages have come through because our names have been said, names of loved ones have been said, and what that really got me. But it was the fact that, like, as you've got to look at these things and you've got to really sort of pay attention. So that really got me, that the fact that prediction happened. And the other one, go on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, it's like anything. With ours, they are placed at different intervals of the time we've had through the paranormal.
Yeah.
They have sort of come out when this. We've had some from 2013 that have come out. We've had some from 2016 that have come out now, and they've been relevant to what we're going through at that point. That is bizarre. When they're in that sort of realm, like in the video we just posted, it does make you. It makes you sort of take. It makes you sit up and take notice. It makes you think, wait there, what is going on here? What are these factors? What are these things that are happening?
Yeah, because even if I was here, sorry to interrupt you, even if I was hearing something different to you, right? Because people will hear different things, and that is probably the next phase of testing, is to have different people listen to it and see, you know, what they are hearing. And I think that is the next phase of testing of this. But even if it was completely at a gobbledygook, right, and I just heard it, I had no idea that this was going on around you. I haven't spoke to you much you know, you've been doing other things, and I haven't spoke to you properly really in about 3 months over the Christmas period, because I've had things going on, you've had things going on, you know, we just haven't had a chance to catch up for that to come out, and for me to actually turn around and say that's been happening. Yeah. And it continues to happen until you actually shared the video. That was something that knocked me back.
When we did the No Investigations live, we had predictions and we thought, oh my god, that's going to put us in harm's way, because there is, you know, we got the what's the name, Secure Team 10. He's been putting videos out to say the things he's showing people are putting him in harm's way. And we felt like this with some of the video, with some of the stuff we were getting through the ghost box. We felt that it was like it could cause us harm. We have had to sit back and go, wait a minute, what does this really mean? It takes you on a journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of its own. Yeah. Of its own volition. You know, it takes you somewhere that you have to delve, and you have to look inwardly and think, what is this telling me?
It's been a very personal journey for me. And I found with regards to these, a lot of them weren't actually predictions. They were talking a lot about my past, about things that happened around me, people who were close to me. But the person that I believe a lot of it was my brother that was coming through. It was the person that he said I could be. And for the entirety of last year, I'm like, I'm nowhere near this person. I'm not this person. I'm not this person. And he gave several examples from my past where, and I will show these, and I'm going to show them on my own channel, but I am going to show some of them on here as well. And it was Christmas Day, and one of the ways that I find messages, or what helps me interpret this, or what helps me understand things, is music. And it was a certain song, I think it was Get Up by Shinedown, which helped me through last year, because it was a very difficult time because of everything that, you know, we'd picked up and was going through and everything. A very enlightening time, but, you know, the fact of having to look in, you know, viewing the face in the mirror sometimes is a difficult thing to do. And you know, having to sort of really look at yourself and look at every part of you and acknowledge it's not the flaws. The flaws are easy to acknowledge. It's the parts of you that are the good parts of you are equally as hard sometimes to acknowledge, because we don't think of ourselves in that way. And I got to a point in November where I just basically went, okay, fake it till you make it. And that was kind of my mentality. It got to a point where I think it was a garden fence that came down. It was the straw brought the camels back. I was like, right, I'm gonna give this my all. And I was on Christmas Day and listened to that song. I burst into tears, because I was having this conversation with a family member, and I talked about this journey, and he said about, you know, how far I'd sort of come that year. And I realised I could finally start to see this person that I was being told I could be. And that's just it's not so much, you know, a person like you're going to be something special. It's just more that, you know, you can have an impact. You can and do have a positive impact on people's lives. And that's the basic, the short and curlies of it. It was just a mindset that I needed to address.
But I mean, that's the same, but the opposite for me. because I've had, you know, as we know, well, as me and you know, I've had quite a different, like, year and a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had a dramatic change.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. But I was having the box telling me that I was where I was supposed to be,
Yeah.
like spiritually, but it was dealing with it in a way that would empower me,
Yeah.
basically. And you know, for what I've been through, which I'll talk about in, you know, in other streams, and we're going to do videos about it.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. Was a big deal, and I had them messages coming through saying, you know, I could deal with it, I could do it. I just had to believe in
Yeah.
myself.
What's been happening with you over the last couple of months then, my friend? Is there anything further that you would like to contribute, you know, you would like to add regarding the activity you've been seeing? Have you seen any more since we put the video out?
I've been every night. I mean, it's something I've always done since I was very young. I love sky watching, and I've seen some crazy. Well, I mean, I haven't seen crazier than what me and you saw. Well, what we saw on Power Station Hill. That was, you know, that was the big. I can't actually. I find it, and all the paranormal things I've seen, and I've seen a lot. I've seen airports. I've seen, you know, things communicate through taps. I've seen things communicate through radios, walkie-talkies. I've seen spirit with my own eyes, and that was up there. That is in my top 5 of the craziest things I've ever seen when we had that encounter for that weekend. But the things I've been seeing in the sky has been going on for a couple of months before Christmas, and there's been helicopters, and there's been some weird activity going over the valleys over the last couple of months. There's been some really strange things. I don't understand it. I'm struggling to comprehend what they're trying to do by it. The 2016 event that happened in Pentyrch and Smilog and everything is bizarre. Why it isn't, it is big news, but why it isn't world news, I don't know. But there is something going on, and there are these objects flying back and forth, and I will continue to capture them. My phone is at the ready. I've got my binoculars on the windowsill waiting, and I'm just going to try and keep catching them until I get something clear that can't be at the moment. You just with the recording equipment, you're just picking up lights in the night sky. And I would like to make them more defined. When you're looking at them through the eye, it's not what you're seeing. Like the last one we saw was a triangle. It was a triangle in the sky. I had another experience back in 2008 where the UFO Society of America come over and spoke to me, because I witnessed an object that was witnessed from here across the country, and it was a giant triangle-shaped object. And this object I saw a couple of days back, was a triangle. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like in the video, you'll see we had a response to say that it's us, whoever they are, that is, you know, appearing at the back of the house. It's up there in the big leagues of crazy, right? But I'm just showing it. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying this is happening. I want you to draw your conclusions on it. You know, we've done the paranormal I've done this for years and years and years, and helping people and informing people has been at the forefront of everything I have ever done. And that's what I just got to keep that in my mind. Even though I don't understand it myself, I've just got to keep informing. I've just got to keep putting it out there and showing people that this stuff is really, really happening, and it's happening on your doorstep. So. Yeah, because there's been lots of activity going on around us both, Jazz. You know, for the last just over a year, and personally, so you know, it's hard to put it into something. Do you know what I mean?